A 7-year-old deaf-mute girl was eating moldy bread alone at home. She did not know at the time that her mother had passed away a few days earlier. However, her mother had left behind a huge debt. Because of this, 7-year-old Enui met the person who changed her life. Soon after, a man named Ji arrived. He wanted to find something of value to offset the debt. Unfortunately, all he found was a house rental contract. Only the deposit for the house caught his attention. To obtain the deposit, he began pretending to be Enui's father and started living with her. After spending a long time together, he gradually developed feelings for the poor little girl. To help Enui, she bought a large number of Korean language model toys. He planned to teach her to recognize characters and communicate through touch. Although Enui had a congenital disability, but she was a very intelligent child. Whenever she drew symbols in her hand, she could always accurately find the correct characters in the models. This made Ji very happy. He believed that this would definitely help Eunhye in her life. However, the arrival of a group of court officials soon disrupted their warm relationship. This was because Enui's mother had accumulated a huge debt. The court officials had come to seize her belongings. This time, Ji was torn. Not only would he not be able to get the deposit for the house, but Enui might also be forced to move out of here. However, the troubles didn't end there. Due to his poor performance, he was fired by the company 2 days later. This series of blows left him in the worst mood possible. When he returned home, Enui had been waiting for him at the door since early morning. Seeing Enui made him even more heartbroken. Now he didn't even know how to live his own life. How could this orphan, with no one to rely on, survive? That night, Ji couldn't sleep. He idly flipped through Enui's mother's phone. A chat record suddenly caught his attention. It turned out that Enui's mother had a younger sister. She lived in a remote rural hometown. From their chat records, he learned that she had once borrowed money from Enui's mother. This news instantly gave Ji hope. If he could find this woman, not only could he recover the debt, but he could also entrust Enui to her care. The next day, he decisively packed Enui's luggage and set off for the countryside. They printed out the photos and asked around as they went. Unfortunately, after several days of searching, they still had no leads. Their only gain was that the once reclusive Enui began to open up. She gradually adapted to the outside world, and her face lit up with smiles she had never shown before. At this point, they seemed more like a father and daughter. As they continued their relentless search every day, he finally learned news about the woman. But to his disappointment, she had already gone into hiding to avoid debt collectors. This meant their search was a waste of time, and Enui also has no relatives to rely on. In order to survive, he could only work on a farm in a small town with Enui. Upon learning of their situation, the villagers here treated them with special care, especially the daughter of the farm owner. She felt genuine sympathy for this father-daughter pair. They often played together, and under the sunlight, she took a series of beautiful photos of them. This life was peaceful, seemingly allowing them to forget the pain brought by their fate. But unfortunately, misfortune still did not spare them. One day, a group of strangers with menacing expressions found their way here, and their goal is Ji.